Asiba imefika.
Tokeni mbele please.
Tunainama. Akina Haron wanainama. Songeni kando kidogo. Songeni kando kidogo. Kamera ni mingi huko. Songeni kando kidogo. Songeni tu kando kidogo. Okay, si mic ziko na watu wengi. Oya. Songeni tu kando tafadhali tusonge.
Cheki Asiba. Start. Haya, in the meantime, angalieni Eliu smart. Wakati naye ni simu ndio inafanya. Hata nini?
Peana tu hapa relax.
Sawa. Wili usiongee, mic ziko on.
Cheki, ya hand over hizo mics alafu tupeane sasa.
Ulizo hapo nyuma, usonge kidogo. Hebu songa nyuma. Songa nyuma so that everybody can see. Sana request.
Kimeli niko kwa interview ya waziri Kimeli. Tafadhali. Tuko kwa interview na waziri. Tafadhali.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, it is a sad day today that we woke up with the sad news of a fire incident at this school, Utumishi Senior School, where at about 12:45 a.m. a fire broke out in one of the dorms on the second floor of that particular dorm. And the dorm is completely destroyed, together with a lot of injuries to our learners. And unfortunately, we lost some of our learners in that incident. I'm going to give you those figures. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular school has a total girls population of 815 girls. At the time of the incident, the girls that were in school were 808. 7 of the girls were at home for various reasons. Out of the 808 girls, 79 were injured and taken to the hospital. They were treated, and 71 of them were discharged. We have 7 currently admitted, and 1 has been picked by the parent from the hospital. Out of that number of 808, we have 16 fatalities whose identities will be identified. The process of accounting will be taking place with our investigators. It's an unfortunate incident. At the time of the fire, responses were received from our security agencies, and we'll be talking more about it, from STU, KDF, County Fire Brigade, and the Kenya Red Cross, among others. The response teams, of course, managed to put out the fire by about 3 a.m., but by then the damage had already been done. We currently have our CSI in place from the DCI headquarters, who are processing the scene with, of course, a view of identifying all the victims. Investigations are ongoing, and there's a hotline number 1199, to which we'll be asking the parents to keep reporting, especially those who might have left with their kids when they came earlier. And that hotline number will also be available for counseling. That is the current status of the event. We'll be releasing the learners who are here present with their parents in the course of the day and will continue briefing you on the process of the investigations and the outcome. I take this opportunity to pass, on behalf of the minister and myself, our condolences to the families and continue wishing those who are injured quick recovery. Thank you.
So perhaps what could be the possible cause of the fire?
Investigations are ongoing, but the identification of the cause of the fire is not yet identified. We'll be able to give you that information once the investigation is complete. But allow my learned colleague, cabinet colleague here, to say a word or two, and the governor, then we can respond to your questions.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
First of all, let me say, following the information you have been given now, I want to pass my condolences to the families that lost their loved ones. We know that this is a very anxious moment, and even as we account for the 16 so far identified as having passed on, I want to ask the people of Kenya that together we stand with the families, the Utumishi Academy fraternity, and the rest of the family members who have lost their loved ones in prayer, in support. I ask everyone to be patient. We avoid speculation as to the cause of this tragedy. I also want to thank the multi-agency team of disaster response, starting from our county security team led by the county commissioner, the KDF team, the various formed up units, including us too, that came in very fast. As you very well know, most of the students who come to this school are children of our officers who serve in the National Police Service. And so as a ministry and as a family, we stand with everybody. Even as we release the parents whose children are still in school, which is the larger number, and who actually may not have been injured directly, we know that they will need a lot of support, psychosocial support. And the hotline number has been given, which is 1199, for basically for people to call for help. And we are working together with the Red Cross, as you know. They are part of the National Disaster Response team, so that even when their children have already gone home, we will make sure that even at home, they will receive counseling services and psychosocial support wherever they may be. I just want to say that as a country, this is a serious tragedy. The investigations are going to be thorough. The Director of Criminal Investigation is here. The crime scene investigators are already here. The officers from government chemists are also here. And all processes will be done, including DNA tests, to ensure that these processes are done successfully. And I just want to say that poleni sana, on behalf of myself, my colleague, our government, we want to say poleni sana, and we'll continue standing with you.
Was there any interventions?
As we are here, I'm going to shut up. Good morning to all. As we are all gathered here today, it's just a very, very sad morning, as we have all woken up to this disaster. And as you have heard from the two cabinet secretaries of Education and of Interior, we are all working together, both the county government as well as the national government, so that we can make sure that we stand in the gap for these parents. It's really a huge disaster that this morning. And what I can see, or what is happening right now, is also the pairing of the parents with the students who are here, so that at least from that point, we are able to then move to the next level. And as the cabinet secretary has said, there is also counseling that's happening or that's available here. as we continue praying for those in the hospital so that they can heal and providing care and services for them. But also as we continue now to the more difficult part, which is figuring out the ones who have lost their lives, as well as informing the families once we get to that point. So as we stand here, we stand in solidarity with the parents, with the school, with the wonderful people of Kenya, the families and the friends and everybody. And as a government together, we are working to make sure that everything that needs to be done is done. And as you have heard, we also have the Director of Criminal Investigations and his team, because it's also important to get to the bottom of what caused the fire so that we can make sure that it does not happen in the future anywhere else. So asanteni sana, and we continue working on it. Karibu Mheshimiwa Wangari.
Asante sana. Nafikiri leo imekuwa siku ya huzuni sana. Tuliweza kuamkia mkasa wa moto takriban saa 7 ya usiku. Na kama ilivyoelezewa na mawaziri na gavana, tumekuja hapa kwanza kusimama na familia, hasa zile ambazo zimeweza kuathirika. Na hii shule ni shule ya ngazi ya kimataifa na iliweza kuanzishwa mwaka wa 2020. Ikaweza kukua na ilikuwa na watoto, sasa imefikisha watoto 815 na watano, lakini wale walikuwa kwa shule ni 808, na kwa lile bweni la kulala kulikuwa na watoto takriban 200. Na katika hafla hiyo ya moto, ingawa wazima moto walijaribu kufika, tunashukuru sana wale waliofika wa kwanza. Anti stock theft walikuwa hapa, tulikuwa na NYS walikuwa hapa, tulikuwa na zimamoto ya county iliyotoka kule Naivasha ilifika hapa, na waliweza kujaribu kabisa kuzima moto, lakini kwa bahati mbaya na kwa huzuni sana tukaweza kupoteza watoto wetu, watoto takriban watoto 16. Watoto 7 wako hospitalini, lakini wale wengi zaidi ya watoto 700 wanaweza kushikanishwa na wazazi wao waweze kuondoka, ndio tuweze kupatia hata nafasi wale teams ambao wanafanya uchunguzi, wale ambao wamekuja hapa kuchukua chembe sababu ya kufanya DNA, sababu unajua kwa mikasa ya moto inakuwa iko na shida ya kuweza kutambua hata ni nani ambaye ameweza kutuacha. Kwa hivyo tutakuwa tukifanya hivyo, na tukifanya hivyo tutaomba hata wale ambao ni wananchi wa Gilgil, tutakuwa tukipunguza wingi wa watu kwa shule, ndio tuhakikishe kwamba tumepunguza umati ambao uko hapa. Tupatie maafisa wetu wa DCI, wale wa Ministry of Health, wale wa Education waweze kufanya uchunguzi na waweze kupeana njia ama mwelekeo. Lakini la muhimu sana, ni huzuni sana sababu nafikiri hili si jambo ambalo limetokea mara ya kwanza. Tulikwenda Russia, juzi tumekuwa na mtoto Faiz hapa Gilgil Hills, tumepeleka mpaka kwenye bunge. Na nafikiri sasa mahali tutatoka ni tukufanya uchunguzi. Ukishafanywa, sisi kama viongozi lazima tuwajibike kuhakikisha kwamba imetekelezwa kwa mashule yetu. Tusikue tunakuja wakati mkasa umeshatokea, tukue tunakuwa proactive. Ile inspection ya shule inafanyika, ndio tunajua mambo gani. Lakini kwa sasa hatutaki tuseme mengi, tunasema tu pole makiwa kwa jamii na familia za wale watoto wetu wameweza kutuacha, na sisi tuko hapa. Red Cross wako hapa na tunawashukuru, walikuwa wa kwanza kufika pia, na wako na nambari ya simu ambayo haina malipo 1199, unaweza ukapiga na ukaweza kupata usaidizi, sio tu wa kujua mtoto wako vipi, hata kupewa counseling ama kupewa mawaidha ya kuweza kukubali. Na nafikiri baada ya hapo tutakuwa tukiweza kupeana ushauri mwingine ama kuweza kuongelesha wanahabari later in the day, ndio tuwapatie vile tumefanya na zile hatua ambazo tumechukua. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. Maybe waziri, one question. Naitwa Robert Wamaina kutoka Citizen. Kati ya wale 16 ambao wameweza kupoteza maisha yao, maybe ni wangapi walioungua, wangapi ama vifo vyao vilitokana na nini hasa wakati huo mkasa, tukielewa kwamba lile bweni lilikuwa na wingi wa wanafunzi?
Nadhani haitakuwa vizuri kusema zaidi kuhusiana na wale ambao walifariki, kwa sababu uchunguzi unaendelea na ni vizuri pia tufuate. Kwanza wacha niseme kwamba kama viongozi hapa tulijadiliana sana kwa muda mrefu kama tutaweza kusema saa hizi kweli wangapi wamefariki ama hapana, lakini tulipoona habari ambayo mmepeperusha tayari kwa nchi nzima, tukaona tu ni kwamba ni afadhali tuseme wale ambao wamefariki. Otherwise, generally, kama kungekuwa ni environment or a society penye we would have kept these numbers for the time being, we would have wished that the numbers be kept until we deal with identification. But because in this era of social media presence and information control, it becomes very difficult. We realized that the message was all over the country, and we thought it was only fair to confirm that 16 persons have since passed on. But then this creates also another trouble for us, which is the anxiety among the parents, trying to know who of them has lost their loved one. So that is the speed with which we are moving now, faster to try to reach as many parents as possible using deductive method, identifying those who are here, releasing them, and then those who are unaccounted for, we start speaking to those parents and start counseling and reaching out to them. So really, we have had to work backwards because of the nature of which information flies in this world. And so going further to say anything related to the same will be extremely irresponsible on our part. I want all of us to now keep it at that until we call you for another press release baadaye. So that is really what I can say about the stature of the bodies, the nature of the accident, the possible causes of it. Let's leave it to investigations first, and then we can come to that.
Waziri, my name is Willie Dennis Njiru from TV47. Maybe on account of arson attacks on dormitories over the years, what has the government done, or maybe what mitigation measures could you take? We have had this since St. Kizito's time.
Yeah, yes. I think that is, as from a policy perspective, the Minister of Education can respond.
Yes, as we've said, we already do not know the cause of this particular fire, and it would be speculative to say it is arson, or otherwise I could suggest that we wait for the outcome of the investigations, and then we can confirm that. But from a policy perspective, we have a safety school manual that all the schools adhere to, and I would urge that we wait to see after the investigations whether that safety manual was adhered to in this particular school. So let's not be speculative at this stage, but we've done a lot in that space. Initially, when Darasha happened, we did close to 350 schools that were not meeting the specifications of that particular manual. So we'll continue doing audits and ensuring that our schools meet the safety manual for schools that is already in place and which we keep updating. But for today, I would urge that this being the very first briefing on this, let's keep it at that as we wait to find out what was the real cause of this particular fire. Thank you very much.
Asante.
Mwenzangu Joshua Nsare, umeweza kumsikia waziri hapo akiweza kuzungumza.